Well, first of all, knowing both of these coaches, especially knowing Robert Jones a little bit better from Norfolk State, really excited to watch these two programs historically have a lot of great basketball history between them. Norfolk State, I mean, NCAA tournament participants last year, they've gotten off to a great start, averaging 95.5 points per game. So, seasoned veteran team. You got a Tennessee State team that's got 11 new players right now. So, one of the things Coach Collins is talking about, effort. He wants to continue to see effort, learn, grow, and continue to play together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've got tip-off coming our way in just over 30 seconds. When you see this type of event to start off the season, obviously we have MEAC versus SWAC, right? Two guys that don't regularly see each other. What kind of setting or what are you looking for as a coach? What are you looking to get out of this?
You know what? I think the great thing is some bragging rights. You got some bragging rights there. I think the second thing is once again, what new things am I learning about my team? One of the things Coach Collins talked about is Christian End being a guy who's kind of like that unexpected surprise for him, although he's the second leading scorer, right? When you talk about Norfolk State, you got Joe Bryant, once again, who's leading them in scoring as well. So it is going to be exciting just to watch these guys compete against each other.
Absolutely. And we're going to stand for the national anthem. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with you with the action.
Cleopatra was the most powerful woman in Egypt. But no one likes a diva, hun. Watching Prime Video, she realized rulers could give back. So she ordered some gifts with Prime. After that, it was more of a one team, one dream kind of vibe. Couldn't give up all the gold, though. Prime changed everything.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language. And she really loves her grandson. Like, really love.
Oh, it was terrible. I was totally stranded.
No TP?
Nope. Empty roll.
So what happened?
Well, we started buying Charmin Super Mega Roll.
Whoa,
That's huge.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 rolls in one and lasts so much longer, you don't always have to worry about the roll running out.
I'm glad you were rescued, Dad.
Me too. It was a huge relief.
Enjoy the go with Charmin, guaranteed to fit or your money back.
National anthem here inside of Gateway Arena. They're going through the starting lineups here. Coach Preston, I know you had a conversation with both of the coaches about what they're looking for, what they're anticipating seeing out of this opening matchup here. Talk to me a little bit about the lineups and some of the key players.
Well, first of all, in talking to Coach Jones, the first thing that he said about Tennessee State is the fact that they average about 22 points a game in the first 8 seconds. Got to get them out of transition. Got to make them a half-court team. Got to keep them off the glass. Last game, they had 17 offensive rebounds. In turn, what Coach Jones said, what they wanted to do offensively was, once again, continue to share the ball. Their last game, they had 23 assists. I mean, they're doubling, their opponent rebounding-wise right now. So this could be a great test for them. When we went over to Coach Collins, what really stuck out to me is how he talked about effort. 11 new guys. Once again, they're continuing to learn and understand their roles. But here's something that's very interesting. They've got 6 players on this team that have all averaged double figures. So once again, being able to share the ball, right? Being able to have great effort, continue to learn what their roles are, and then come out and produce.
Absolutely, and there's multiple transfers on both of these rosters, but more stands out a little bit more on that Tennessee State roster. You have a lot of guys coming down from high major basketball. What do you think that experience will do for them and provide for them in a game like this?
I think what that experience does, it only heightens the ability to make some plays here in between these lines. You know what sticks out to me right now, you think about Christian Brown, who's a transfer from Georgia, right? So being able to bring that type of experience, you've got Kasim Nicholson, who's come from UAB. So these guys can come in and help these younger guys understand what each game like this means to them, because it might be November, but this game can come back and have an effect and impact in March.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this game individually is not going to get you to March, but the lessons that you learn from it can carry you over to that.
And you know what? As a coach and as a staff, you want to continue to get better every single game. So this is a great test for both of them early on. Very excited to be here with you, Justin.
Now teams are having their final chats. They're going over that final rundown of what they're going to expect from each other out here. And again, we're here at Gateway Invitational in Atlanta, the Gateway Arena. Beautiful facilities for this event. Great showcase of two HBCU programs. Let's get ready for some basketball.
Well, I want to tell you, if it's anything like it was here earlier when they were warming up and it got a little heated, we can expect an action-packed game here in the Gateway Arena here.
So you're saying a little bit of bad blood between the two, even though they're not conference rivals. They want bragging rights.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was bad blood. I was just like, you know what, that energy, that effort, and anticipation of a great game about to tip off.
And the tip-off is won by Tennessee State as they move into the front court. Left side, quick shot. You talked about that first 8 seconds.
That first 8 seconds, I don't care if it's half court and in transition. You got to be able to get back, and you got to have your hands up. Hand down can be, as like Mark Jackson likes to say, man down.
And now Joe Bryant for Norfolk State's leading into the front court. Couple dribbles, he's going to get it back. Outside shot, off the mark for Christian Ings. You talked about him earlier in the pregame.
And once again, with Christian Ings, he's kind of like that unsung hero, although he's the second leading scorer on the team. Once again, these guys are filling each other out, so he's going to have that nervous anticipation here probably for this up until the first media timeout.
All right, and for Tennessee State, you have Dedrick Boyd. Kenny Cooper bringing it to the front court. They're moving the ball around. Shot from Christian Brown, off the mark. Norfolk State's coming back left side. Ball's in the hands of Christian Ings. That's the guy we talked about earlier, and he's going to attack. How much of this do you think is just early game jitters and getting it out the way?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're going to make all your mistakes, let's try to get them done here in the first 2 minutes or so we can get back to what the game of basketball is really like. A lot of guys trying to fill each other out one-on-one right now. Once again, I think it's important to continue to pass the ball and make that extra pass. Good shot versus great shot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here, Tennessee State back in control of the basketball, moving into the front court. Moving it around. Good ball movement early from Tennessee State. And we have a first made basket, Carlos Marshall from Memphis, Tennessee, Southwest Tennessee Community College.
And you know what was great about that? You had 3 passes made. Good shot versus great shot. I'm going to talk about it all night, Justin. And that was a great shot because it was uncontested and wide open.
Few too many steps. We're seeing a lot of individualistic one-on-one basketball on one end of the court and sharing the ball and playing as a team on the other end of the court. Obviously, that's not what the coach drew up earlier when he had the conversation with you about what success looked like for him. So we should look to see a timeout or a little bit of a change here in their next offensive possession.
And you know what? They're going to kind of let them play through this here for the first 4 minutes. They'll make some adjustments in this first media timeout.
Nice attack. You talked about the offensive glass. There you have Jalen Dupree grabbing the offensive rebound, the transfer from Samford, and he's going to earn his way to the free throw line.
And once again, Coach Jones talked about Tennessee State against Alabama A&M had 17 offensive rebounds, so he was very concerned about that, and it's coming to fruition here in the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the game.
No good on the front end of the 2 free throws. Again, that's Jalen Dupree at the line, the 6'8", grad transfer from Samford.
I tell you, his body looks like a grad transfer body. Tell you that.
Norfolk State with the ball in the front court. Inge again.
Yeah.
And Inge just had a tough go about this first couple minutes here.
Well, what's going on right now, and we talked about it earlier, one-on-one, right? Sometimes you're going to have to make a couple extra passes and then be able to drive. If you can get those paint touches, and that's something, Justin, as a former coach, I was huge on. We can't allow paint touches because once the ball gets below that free throw line, I don't care who you are, you're in full help and recover.
Absolutely. And now you're seeing a full court pressure from Norfolk State. They're going to drop back into their defensive set. We've got Marcus Fitzgerald, right-hand side. He's going to set a screen, and the ball's starting to move around a little bit for Tennessee State. Again, Dupree from deep. Off the mark. Big rebound from Joe Bryant. You talked about him a little bit earlier as well.
Right, and Joe Bryant, once again, he's their leading scorer overall.
And Dupree.
Once again, Coach Collins talked about the effort. You're seeing the effort right now. They've done a great job of making the extra pass. That's 2 of them that I've counted right there for the scores. Easy buckets early on for Tennessee State.
Well, you always have to get excited about players that are willing to share and give up a little bit of individual performance or success for the overall team success. And as we talked about that, just a big-time move from Chris Bankston. He was able to utilize his size, finish it around the basket. Now he's going to earn his way to the charity stripe.
And you know what the great thing was? It wasn't just a post move right there, me being a former postman, but how he stepped through, kept the pivot foot down, and is able to have an opportunity at the old-fashioned three-point play.
Here's your step to the line, like you said, for that old-fashioned three-point play. It's not as pretty as the 3-ball, but it counts the same.
Exactly.
There he has it.
The last time I checked, Justin, they don't give points for style.
Although some of these guys in this younger generation wish that they would or act as if they do.
Mm-hmm.
So being a former coach, being a guy that's made it to March and made it to the pinnacle, hosting that final trophy,
right.
Talk to me a little bit about the perspective coming into games like this where you're not on neither team's on their home court or even their home city. It's an early game. Talk to me a little bit about the mindset that these coaches and players are going through and how you get them engaged.
It's about your culture. It's very plain and simple. Can you continue to sustain your culture game in and game out? These guys have been practicing since the end of September. So now having that opportunity to play against some different bodies is very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on that play, Marcus Fitzgerald was called for the travel. He gave up the turnover. You saw the pressure picked up, the intensity picked up there for Norfolk State. And
what's even more important right here, if you really paid attention, Coach Jones has done a great job here of changing up defenses a little bit to try to take and catch Tennessee State off guard. Once again, some different things to throw out early to kind of get a feel of the rosters.
The Kaheem Brown's bringing it to the front court. They're moving around. Looks like those paint touches you talked about, they're making an emphasis on the paint. And there we have Brown, big-time shot.
And inside out with that assist from Bankstrom right there to throw it right out for Brown for that nice, easy three-point basket.
The Brooklyn, New York native showing that he can make it from downtown. Tennessee State moving the ball and another turnover, back-to-back turnovers and offensive sets. Hey, guys, thank you for staying with us here. We're at the Gateway Invitational Classic here at Gateway Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll be right back with you as you see 2 great HBCU teams battling it out.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Nope, not going in. Not gonna drown today.
Fixing your credit score can be scary, but with Credit Versio, we take the fear out of it.
Okay, you can do this. Be brave. Don't cry again. Hey, this isn't too bad.
Credit Versio helps dispute negative marks on your credit using our state-of-the-art technology that guides you every step of the way. It's never been easier to fix your credit and increase your credit score. Seriously, you can do this. Visit creditversio.com right now to get started.
Touch a trend, be wildin' with it. Missed out on my kids' life for a year, and I got accepted. Certain days niggas never came to my shows, and I felt neglected. Growing up, see my uncle down in his bed, that shit made me reckless. Pouring up and ain't never sharing my meds, and ain't being extra. And I paid like 2 of my niggas' bonds before I brought a necklace. I done seen my brother stack his bricks up and it look like Tetris. Have a real shootout up.
And we're back inside a Gateway Arena here for the Gateway Invitational. Coach Preston, tight game, 6-5. We talked a little bit about it in the forefront of the game. We talked about these teams and controlling the game. So far, what have you seen from them?
What I've seen, early on, it was trying to do too much one-on-one. Then they calmed down a little bit at about the 18-minute mark and then started making some extra passes, and both of them been able to capitalize off of that. So, once again, sometimes good offense is team fouls, right? Great job right there by Norfolk State, basically doing your old-fashioned dribble weave right there, and was able to take and get that team foul.
Hey, you talked earlier, you mentioned something that I love to talk about, and I think isn't talked about enough, but you talked about culture and the culture of, you talked about the Norfolk State program.
Mm-hmm.
I look and I see 6 players from the state of Virginia on that roster.
Mm-hmm.
How does that benefit their culture?
I think what it benefits their coach is saying that they're staying in state and able to develop and hone that talent once again, but also understanding that they have the name as a program, so that's huge for them.
And their miss layup there from Chris Bankston. The pressure's being applied from Norfolk State. You're seeing it on both ends of the floor. They're playing with high intensity right now. 3 ball from Carlos Marshall Jr., Memphis, Tennessee native. He needed something to slow down that onslaught.
But once again, we talked about that they average about 22 points a game in the first 8 seconds. That was in the first 8 seconds right there. You got to have your hands up. They are not afraid to shoot the ball.
Norfolk State in the front court, left side. They move the ball around, an unforced error there, and here comes Tennessee State. Big time move from Carlos Marshall Jr. He's on fire right now.
And that's what we talked about right there. Coach Jones talked about getting back in transition. Haven't been able to do that successfully yet. And Tennessee State, I know it's early, but they've extended this thing out to 10-6. Let's just say that Coach Collins got that effort from this team that he didn't quite have on Tuesday here on Saturday evening.
Now you have Joe Bryant with a pull-up jump shot, right-hand corner.
That's a tough shot right there. I'll tell you this. If he can make those all night, you know what? I might go up to the concession stand and buy him a hot dog myself.
Here, Tennessee State moving into the front court. They're slowing out. They're outside of that 8 seconds that we talked about, so now they're going to get into their offensive set, and Marshall's attacking. Little no call there.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the important things right there is understanding to get all the way to the basket, maybe understanding when that defensive rotation happens to pull up for that short 10 to 12-foot J.
Substitutions coming in for Tennessee State. David Acosta is going to see his first action, from Dominican Republic.
Interesting to see what they get out of this 1-4 set right here.
We're also seeing Dedrick Boyd for the first time, the transfer from Illinois State.
Oh.
They use the entire shot clock there. And
hold up, what time is it? Bank still open? Bank still open?
Bank is not open, but it is open here at the Gateway Invitational.
It sure is. I better run up to the ATM machine, the truest ATM machine, and get, incredible, isn't it? That should be a goaltend.
Well, I'm seeing Norfolk State adjusting a little bit to the pace of Tennessee State, and now getting in that first 8 seconds. That possession right there, that was within the first 8 seconds, headed towards the basket. So it's interesting to see the teams take on the aura or the atmosphere, the attitude of their adversary here in this game.
And I think one of the important things here very early on, especially for this officiating crew, is they have to match the level of intensity as well, okay? This has been a very intense game here in the first 7 minutes, and it's going to continue to be intense. So it's a matter of being able to adjust to that. But I think even more importantly, the guys who are coming in as subs have to understand how they can have a positive impact on this game as well.
Absolutely, and Kaheem Brown knocked down the front end of those free throws there that he picked up with that aggressive drive to the basket. But like you said, coming in, knowing that, hey, you have to come in and keep the intensity level up. It's not, as a sub, you're not coming in and able to rest those guys. No, you have to take it up to another notch, and Kaheem Brown is good on the second as well. That was a quick opportunity for David Acosta there. He's already out of the game here. Tennessee State making multiple subs.
And you know what? Right there, changing up the defensive intensity a little bit right there, picking up full court pressure. They were able to turn around, get a turnover by Tennessee State. Let's see how Norfolk State capitalizes.
Almost gave it away there. Tennessee State's extending their ball pressure.
Yeah, he traveled. Great call.
Too many steps.
Yeah. Easy right there. It's a great example of not having your pivot feet established, right? And then kind of threw a little bit of a hot potato there to him in the paint.
Kenny Cooper bringing it into the front court here for Tennessee State, surveying the offense, swings it to the left-hand side over to Christian Brown. Kasim Nicholson, a little bit of contact underneath. And just like that, the floater from Kaheem Brown, Brooklyn, New York native, saying, I'm here, I love the big city.
But once again, on a score, we talked about the first 8 seconds. Tennessee State gets down, get all the way to the basket unimpeded, and has a chance at 2 points here the old-fashioned way from the free throw line. So once again, Norfolk State's got to get back and got to hold them under that first 8 seconds.
Got to get back, have to stop ball. There's a little bit too much celebrating the basket down here versus sprinting back and be prepared for the offense.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you've coached a time or two.
You know what? I would clip that up and show it on Monday. Depending on how this game goes, it might be tomorrow.
Another substitution coming in. We're going to see our first look at Hersey Miller, son of Master P. Good on both of those free throws. So Tennessee State has an early 14-12 lead here in the first half. But both teams are playing very well in their own regards.
They're both playing aggressive, playing to their styles. And once again, once the adrenaline calms down, it's going to go back to the culture of what your basketball program is.
Good drive from Terrence Jones. He gets the roll. The sophomore from the Patrick School, Trenton, New Jersey. Hersey Miller in the front court. We're moving it around, dribble handoff.
That's a charge right there that he gave up trying to slide over there. That's why the whole coaching staff of Norfolk State jumped up. They were hot.
Yeah, you talked about Christian Brown and him transferring from Georgia. Obviously, he knows this area. He knows this atmosphere, and the bright lights do not scare him at all.
No, it doesn't scare him at all. Metro Atlanta is very well respected for what they've done basketball-wise and will continue to do basketball-wise.
Big rebound from Kasim Nicholson. He's going to kick it ahead to Hersey Miller on the wing, and he finds him back. Good defense there from Norfolk State. The crowd wants Hersey Miller to be a little bit more aggressive.
Great job right there by Coach Collins to calm it down a little bit and get them into an offensive set.
We're here on HBCU League Pass with the Gateway Invitational. Early lead, Tennessee State's up 16-14 over Norfolk State here in Atlanta.
I got to say this right now. For all the young people out here watching, the young people who are sitting here in this arena right now, sometimes we get wrapped up in all this level stuff. And my thing is, go to where you can fit in and play.
Absolutely. And we've got a timeout on the floor. We're going to take it with them. Don't go anywhere. We've got more action coming your way from the Gateway Arena here in Atlanta.
Nope, not going in. Not going to drown today.
Fixing your credit score can be scary, but with Credit Versio, we take the fear out of it.
Okay, you can do this. Be brave. Don't cry again. Hey, this isn't too bad.
Credit Versio helps dispute negative marks on your credit using our state-of-the-art technology that guides you every step of the way. It's never been easier to fix your credit and increase your credit score. Seriously, you can do this. Visit creditversio.com right now to get started.
Once upon a time, there lived a princess with really long hair who was waiting for a prince to come save her. But really, who has time for that?
Let's go. Feeling myself. I'm feeling
She ordered herself a ladder with Prime one-day delivery, and she was out of there. Now, her hairdressing empire is killing it. And the prince? Well, who cares? Prime changes everything.
Don't worry, Ma. We'll be there soon.
We? Is this the one?
Well, let's say I found the one who takes me to another level. Always stays calm under pressure. Most importantly, the one that helps me discover the coolest places.
This sounds wonderful.
Come outside, I'll introduce you.
You're here.
Definitely the one.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Frontier.
And we're back inside the Gateway Arena. I'm Justin Brantley alongside my broadcast partner today, Coach Lewis Preston. And Coach, you dropped a nugget on those watching and those in attendance here just a moment ago. You talked about going where you're wanted, going where you fit in, which I think is important, seeing a lot of these guys that transfer from high major situations.
I think one of the main things, Justin, is we continue to watch how the landscape of college basketball has changed. I think one of the most important things is go where you fit, go where you're going to be able to get on the floor as soon as possible. And here's the main reason. If you're good enough, they'll find you. And they're going to find you. And I think that's one of the things. We get so wrapped up in things that are outside of our control. The thing is, you can control where you go and have a chance to play.
Absolutely. Nicholson split the pair there, grabbed his own offensive rebound, but wasn't able to convert. And now we have Norfolk State coming into the half-court set. We've got a call on Hersey Miller underneath. But I like the aggressiveness. Looks like Hersey's got a little bit of a cheering section here in Atlanta.
Yeah, right behind us, too.
Norfolk State inbounding the ball. They're trying to get those paint touches. They're intentionally feeding the paint.
Right. Norfolk State's trying to work inside out, and if you really paid attention to Tennessee State, they're kind of like outside in. Sometimes you can force feed that thing too much as opposed to just making that extra pass. Anytime you can swing the ball from side to side, usually that third time around is where you're able to get a drive and get something easy going to the basket.
Absolutely. Percy Miller seeing major minutes here as a freshman. The touted prospect out of Minnehaha High School, or Minnehaha Academy in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And there, Jalen Dupree.
And once again, that's a great example. Grad transfer, strong-bodied right there. Able to take and catch that on that pick and roll. Great catch, great finish right there by the big fella.
He definitely looks like a grown man out there.
No, he is.
Here Norfolk State's moving the ball around. A few too many dribbles. Another paint touch. Down low for Bankston.
Nice. Great move. Great move. Great job of faking it back out to make the defense have to commit one way or the other. One hard dribble to the middle, easy. Once again, the old-fashioned three-point play.
And you being a post player, that's something that you talked about early. You talked about getting those paint touches. A lot of guys, they don't understand what it takes. Number one, not only to make that play, but number two, most importantly, teaching the guards how to make that post entry.
Right, and that is a lost art right now. It's the post entry pass. That was a great pass in, right? Bankston did a great job of faking it back out. One hard dribble, finishing at the rim.
And he finishes the traditional three-point play. Percy Miller coming into the front court. We talked a little bit about that first 8 seconds. They're starting to slow the ball a little bit down and being a little bit more intentional with their offensive possessions. Nicholson short from the mid-range.
And once again, Coach Jones said if he can make Tennessee State a half-court team, advantage Norfolk State. Yeah.
Norfolk State's seeing the pressure from Tennessee State here, and they're struggling a little bit with it. You see Coach Jones trying to coach them through it, trying to talk to his guys about what he needs from them in order to be successful here in the half-court offense.
And you know what, Justin? I got to get back to sharing the ball. Once again, they had 23 assists in their last game right now. They're trying to do a little bit too much one-on-one. Get back to what makes you good.
We've got a foul call. It's going to go against Emmanuel Duwanu, the transfer from Purdue, 6'10", redshirt sophomore out of Miami, Florida.
And once again, they are paying attention very early in regards to how you're holding that screen. If you're not holding it, they're calling that offensive foul right away.
Tennessee State has a lot of size here.
Both these teams have great size.
Turnover there, and turnover turns into not. I mean, I'm a little bit okay with the points there,
right?
But the foul,
right.
Here we're gonna get another look at it. Turnover was like it fell right into his lap. He attacks the basket and goes right into the contact, fights through.
Right. And I mean, it goes back to not only do you cause the turnover, then you go commit the foul. It's all, once again, something that can be clipped up in an early learning point. You got to come back and meet the ball and get yourself open from an offensive standpoint, understanding how the defense is playing you.
And just like that, I mean, we've had a tightly contested battle here all day. For a minute, it looked like Tennessee State was pulling away. And, basketball's a game of runs, and Norfolk State's going on a run here. They've been able to stop ball. They've been able to force some turnovers. And now we got a tie ball game again, 19-19.
And I knew this was going to be a great game because, once again, it's two historically well-known HBCU programs.
You talked earlier about Coach Jones switching up his defense and throwing different looks at him. That was the first time that we've seen that look from him. Talk to me a little bit about what that did for them in that situation.
They've done a variety of different things. They've shown picking up full court man, and as soon as the ball goes in, they get back into half court. They've shown some trapping. They've shown some switch. They've done a little bit of everything right now to keep Tennessee State off guard. And I think they got 4 or 5 early turnovers against them here as we're more than midway through the first half.
Off balance jump shot there. Joe Bryant, a little heat check moment.
Yeah.
So Kenny Cooper's call for the travel in the front court for Tennessee State.
And I think right now, early on in the season, you got to slow down a little bit and not give the officials a reason why to make a call, right? Was it a travel? I'm not necessarily sure it was a travel, but it looked like one.
Coach Collins is on the refs here early. Norfolk State's in front court again. Paint touch. We've got a kick ball there on Tennessee State, so the ball's going to stay here. It'll stay with Fitzgerald. We've got a timeout here. Thank you for tuning in here to HBCU League Pass and SUVtv. We're here at the Gateway Invitational in Atlanta. We're excited for this game, excited for the battle here on the floor, and stick with us. We'll be right back with you after this break.
You know how some carriers give you so little for your older busted phone you just end up living with it? I don't think so. Verizon lets you trade in your broken phone for a shiny new one. You break it, we upgrade it. You dunk it, doggy bone it, slam it, wham it, strawberry jam it. We upgrade it.
Get a 5G phone on us with select plans.
Every customer, current, new, or business.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
Don't worry, Ma. We'll be there soon.
We? Is this the one?
Well, let's say I found the one who takes me to another level. Always stays calm under pressure. Most importantly, the one that helps me discover the coolest places.
This sounds wonderful.
Come outside, I'll introduce you.
You're here.
Definitely the one.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Frontier.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
We're back to live action here inside the Gateway Arena, here at the Gateway Invitational presented by the 7 Group. Have to show some love to our sponsors, Beyond the Bench, here on SUVtv and HBCU League Pass. Excited to be here in the building for, like you said, 2 very well-known HBCU programs. Obviously, they're not in the same conference, but you couldn't tell it from watching this game.
And you know what? I think one of the great things about this is being able to provide this opportunity for these young men to be on this stage, and also for the young men in this community who love this game of basketball, because the great thing is you're seeing some great action, high impact, high intensity here early on.
Three-pointer off the mark there. There's a battle underneath. It looked like Duanu had the advantage there. I mean, he's got great size. I'm looking to see, hopefully Tennessee State can get him involved a little bit on the offensive end, but he's done a great job so far defensively.
A little three-quarter court press right here, back into a man.
Carlos Marshall in the front court for Tennessee State on the right-hand side. Calls for the screen. He's going to deny it. .12 seconds left on the shot clock.
He traveled. Ran into his own man right there.
That was an intentional paint touch. But we talked about earlier in the game them and how many points they scored in their first 8 seconds. And it seems like Norfolk State has accomplished the task of slowing them down a bit. Looks like we have a technical foul call. Carlos Marshall Jr. And they can't afford for him to have to take a seat. He has 8 points so far in this first half.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I think is very important to understand right now is I give them a warning first before I make that call. You know, was it something that led up to that? Maybe, but once again, I think you have to take your time as an official, especially in a game of this magnitude, and just be able to warn and then do what you need to do.
And Joe Bryant made both of those free throws to give them the 2-point advantage, and they're going to retain possession of the basketball. Carlos Marshall's going to take a seat and talk about it with his head coach. Just over 6 minutes left in the half here. Norfolk State has a 2-point advantage. What are you looking for from them to close out this first half?
You know what I'm looking for right now is who are the guys that are going to take. And once again, there's a lot of turnovers here early. A lot of travel calls. I mean, we can go tit for tat on that. But I think one of the things on here is getting back to being who you are as a team.
You touched on the turnovers, 23 turnovers in the first 14 minutes of action. Tennessee State in the front court. You have Kenny Cooper pacing the offense. I don't think he's made a pass yet this possession. He got bailed out. Fouls called. They're on Joe Bryant. Now they're starting to share the ball like they've done so well so far in this game. Marcus Fitzgerald at the top. He's going to turn the ball over. Big time steal from Norfolk State. And Kaheem Brown's going to make his way to the free throw line. He's been solid so far this first half with 7 points.
Right. He's been very solid on both ends of the floor overall. So right now, Brown's on the free throw line right here for a 1-and-1.
Yes, you talked about him being solid on both ends. He has 7 points, 2 rebounds, only 1 foul, but he's active and he's making things happen. And sometimes people look towards, okay, the stat lines, but the stats don't tell the whole story.
Right. But you know what? Energy and effort keeps you on the floor. A lack of energy and effort gets you on the bench.
Good on the front end. And here he's going to step to the line and try and give them the 4-point lead. And it's good.
It's amazing that quick start that Tennessee State got out to here early in the games, almost like a lifetime ago.
Yep, and Brown's perfect from the free throw line, and a turnover there from Marshall. He just got back on the floor after taking that seat.
And once again, I talked about it earlier, Norfolk State has continued to change up their defenses, and it has given Tennessee State problems. Right there, you got to travel because they just got back into basically three-quarter court defense right there with a trap.
And you talked about that pregame. You know, that's one of the things that you talked about in your conversation with Coach Jones about his keys to this game.
Right. And the thing was, he wanted to make them a half-court team and then show them some different things that they could do defense. Yep, that's a great call. He never held it.
And Kaheem Brown was waiting for the screen.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Zaya Chambers, the Chesapeake, Virginia native, played at Hillcrest Prep in Phoenix, Arizona. He got called for the moving screen there.
Right.
Now, ball's in the front court for Tennessee State. They're moving it around. Carlos Marshall feeling it. He wants it. Good job sharing the basketball off the mark. But they're going to call it down low. Looks like a little bit of a push down low there underneath.
It's too many whistles right now.
So let's talk about that. As a coach, how do you adjust to the way that the game's being called right now?
I think it's a lot of ticky-tack stuff right now, me personally. And the way you have to adjust to it is you might have to change your defense up and maybe show a couple possessions of zone if you have a zone package in. If not, I think you got to be more of a sloughing off kind of half-court defensive team and make sure that you're there, hands active on the contest.
And Emmanuel Dewanu is going to step to the line for this one-on-one opportunity. You talked about if they have a zone package in, and it's important to talk about that this early in the season, right? You haven't fully put all of your offenses and defenses in yet.
Right. You hope to have your baseline things in and then a couple special situations.
And there you have Kaheem Brown getting to the basket and finishing amongst the trees, as they say.
Right. Both of these teams have been able to get a lot of direct line drives into the paint.
Kaheem Brown's going to get called on the foul there. And again, we're here, HBCU League Pass for the Gateway Invitational in Atlanta, presented by the 7 Group. We're here on HBCU League Pass, SUVtv. This is high-level basketball.
High-level basketball, high-level bodies. Right now, you're seeing a lot of these guys that have transferred in from other schools. That experience, you see it in their frames, and you see it in their basketball IQ and how the game is slower for them versus the guys that are playing a little bit out of control.
That experience counts, huh?
Absolutely.
And Dewanu, again, is off the mark from the free throw line. They're going to call a line violation. He's going to get another opportunity here. Dewanu struggled a little bit from the free throw line. I mean, typical of a lot of bigs.
You can't say all bigs.
No. I said a lot.
No,
I said a lot. I know.
I
know I'm sitting next to one of the great ones.
No,
have to choose my words carefully there.
Far from great.
There's greatness in all of us, Coach.
You know what? I just respect this game a lot, and I hate when you see those that have the potential to be great and don't live up to it, and you have those that just work, put their head down and grind and exceed all expectations.
And Dewanu is good on the second free throw there, and he's going to check out. He's going to take a breather. It looks like Tennessee State's going to employ a full court press now. They're going to fall back. They just want to show the look.
They have to do some old little half-court trap right there. Great job.
Tyrese Jenkins from Richmond, Virginia.
If you're not able to make them make I call it a Roman candle pass. That was a direct line pass that led to a 3-on-2. Easy shot at the rim for Norfolk State.
Bad decision there from Marshall with the turnover. Norfolk State's feeling it. They're in control right now.
Right. Completely in control.
And Joe Bryant with the drive. He's going to end up at the free throw line shooting 2. Here we're going to get a look at it. He realized he had the defender on his heels, put his head down and attack the basket. And that's what he does well. He's done that all day long. He's not hesitating at all to attack the basket. He's really leading this Norfolk State team. And as we just saw in that play there, he's sharing the basketball. Norfolk State right now, they have that intensity that you talked about. They have that energy that you talked about. And that's why they have the 6-point advantage.
I go back to something even better than that. And all those things are true. You're watching emotion wane, and then your talent level, your play calling, your skill level is all coming to the forefront now. You can see who's the more experienced versus a team that is still learning to play with each other.
Well, you talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, 11 new players on this Tennessee State squad.
Right.
We're sharing the ball. Marshall for 3. Right corner, pocket, no good. They're going to call that foul on Tyrese Jenkins. He was the one that finished that alley-oop there on the other end. He picked up the foul defensively. He's asking the ref. He wants to know why. He's trying to figure out. He's trying to get an understanding of how they're calling this basketball game.
Right, and I think that's an adjustment early on in the year too. Is that every game you get a different set of officials, and they all call different styles. So you got to be able to adjust the styles. The beautiful thing about the game of basketball, you have to learn how to adjust on the fly and in real time.
No good on the front end of the one-on-one for David Acosta. Norfolk State staff wants their guys attacking those 50-50 balls.
Right. I still can't believe Tennessee State hasn't ran somebody at Brown a little bit more. But he's kind of been a little bit shaky with his ball handling here early on. Once again.
And right as you said that,
yep.
The commentator's curse. Marshall attacking, a little too strong.
Wow.
And here we're going to get another look at that. Marshall attacking strong. Little bit too strong. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. We're here at the Gateway Invitational in Atlanta. Stay tuned on HBCU League Pass, SUVtv, presented by the 7 Group. We'll be right back with you after this timeout.
Credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
And we're back here inside the Gateway Arena. Coach Preston, we've talked a lot about the intensity, a lot about the runs within this game, and right now Norfolk State is on a run. They're up 29-21, a little bit under 4 minutes left to play in this first half.
And you know what, to be honest with you, Tennessee State's been stuck on 21 for a while now.
And they're going to be stuck there just a little while longer. You talked about them running somebody at Brown. He's been shaky with his ball handling there. And since you said that, they've ran somebody at him in each possession. Tennessee State takes control.
I know how both of these coaches feel right now. It's bringing back a lot of memories.
Well, now it's about providing those adjustments and getting to halftime. So in this next 3 minutes, what are the keys for both teams?
I think over the course of the next 3 minutes and 27 seconds, I think what's very important right now is for Tennessee State to get off 21, and they've got to figure out how to get 3 stops in a row. I don't know how they're going to do it. What do they need to do defensively? Once again, with Brown in the game, I'd almost trap him every time. But they've got to figure out how to get 3 stops in a row and be able to get some easy looks.
And that was not an easy look. A contested 3 is not what you would have dialed up in that situation, is it?
Right. Not at all.
Here we have Joe Bryant coming to the front court, right-hand side. He's going to work through the offense. They're not in a rush. Talked about the Roman candle pass.
Mm-hmm. But once again, he's trying to fit something in right there that, you can't necessarily fit in there. You got to be able to, once again, swing it from side to side, maybe get that the next time around.
Mid-range jump shot off the mark. But there you have Joe Bryant with the rebound and putback.
And once again, with the fact of how many rebounds, they're averaging right at about 11.5, almost 12 offensive rebounds a game. Gets them up to a 10-point lead right here.
Joe Bryant showing that senior leadership. He's been here a while. We talked about that a little bit earlier. He's had some experience in March.
And once again right there, a great extra pass right there from Nicholson to Brown for that nice little easy lay-in. And they finally get off of 21 as it's 31-23 here with 2:25 to go.
I was just going to say that. That was one of your keys for them to get off 21. The other key was to get 3 straight stops.
Yes. That's one right there.
And here Marshall's coming down the front court. They're going to move the ball around. Tennessee State plays better when they're sharing the basketball.
Right.
When it gets stagnant, when it sticks, they just can't get anything moving. Marshall with the mid-range pull-up.
That's nice.
I like his confidence. I like the confidence that he has, the aggression that he has. When he gets the ball, he's looking to score. He's looking to make something happen. He has the defender on his heels, spin move, mid-range, pull-up. That's that free throw line extended that Kobe always talked about.
Right. And I think one of the very interesting things right here as you start to look at these highlights is both teams are going to what makes them good right now, getting to their sweet spots. Marshall's been phenomenal right now. They're going to need some other guys. Nicholson's going to need to step up more for them. Marcus Fitzgerald, who's averaging about 13 points a game coming off the bench, he's going to need to step up for Tennessee State here and provide some extra energy. And once again, they've got to be able to get 3 stops in a row and then be able to come down and capitalize. Right now, they've got 2 of them, and they've gotten this game from 10 points down to 6.
It's a game of runs.
Absolutely.
So now we talked about their keys. What are Norfolk State's keys to close out this last 2 minutes?
I think they've got to. I think they've got to give up the good for the great. I think they've got to make. Hey, that's a good shot right there, but one extra pass will make this a great shot. They get a bunch of great shots.
There, Bryant had his defender thinking he was in an ice arena for a moment.
Right. Everybody loses their mind means nothing. You know why? Didn't make the basket.
Capitalize. Brown missed the layup. So even though that wasn't a traditional stop, it's going to count.
Right. And once again, they've gotten some stops. They just haven't been able to capitalize on the looks right there. And it's still a 6-point lead as we near 1:10 to go here in the first half.
Bryant moving into the front court. He's going to attack the basket.
Wow.
I don't know how he got that one to go. He had a lot of English on that one.
He forced that one in. Reminded me of a younger John Bagley from back in the day with the Celtics.
Not quite sure the call there.
Definitely right now, if you're Norfolk State, you can look for a potential 2-for-1 here to end the first half. And I'm saying that they have an 8-point lead right now.
So they have the potential to stretch this to a double-digit lead if they take care of the basketball and do what they're supposed to do here.
Once again, you might have something right here for Joe Bryant in middle pick and roll right here to try to get down the hill. Because right now, Tennessee State, remember, they're in the bonus.
And for Kaheem Brown, we're going to want to run somebody at him, get the ball out of his hands. There's Bryant playing with the defender in front of him a little bit.
Nice.
To reject the screen, but he's going to take it. Pull up, jump shot, off the mark. Well, I think that's what Tennessee State wants to do. They want to make Norfolk State jump shot shooters and not allow them to have those direct line drives.
Right, and the same thing Norfolk State wants to do to Tennessee State. And they've done a much better job. And I think, one of the things is when you're tired, right, kind of has a tendency to take you away from what you're good at.
Kenny Cooper bringing the ball into the front court. He's going to stop and think about it for a minute. Looks like he's going to work the shot clock down. He knows he's not going to get the last shot, but he can use most of this clock and give Norfolk State not enough time to really make anything happen. But he's got to go now. And they're going to call travel. Christian Brown, the transfer from Georgia, gets called from the travel there.
That might be the 15th travel here so far in the first half.
Norfolk State's going to call a timeout.
Love this right here. Love something you can draw up. You know what? You can run some misdirection right here and try to either throw something up the top, or maybe you can get a little misdirection there for a pass right there in the corner for a quick 3 here with 5.3 seconds to go.
Well, let's stay here with them. They're taking this timeout on the floor. What are you saying in each of these situations? So start with Norfolk State. What are you saying if you're inside that huddle?
I'll be honest with you. If I'm Norfolk State, I'm just basically saying, let me get the ball in Joe Bryant's hands. Whether it is him coming off of a down screen, popping it up here to the middle, and maybe get some middle pick and roll. If I'm Tennessee State, to be honest with you, I'm actually shading more towards the basket here on our left side and making the ball go back over half court, because that's an extra second or two they're going to have to eat up to try to get downhill.
There you have it. Now let's take a look and see what actually transpires here. The great Coach Lewis Preston's given us what he would do in this situation. Let's take a look at it. Not sure that's what Coach wanted. And we're going to head into the half. Right now, Norfolk State has an 8-point lead. They're up 33-25 over TSU here at the Gateway Invitational, Gateway Arena here in Atlanta, brought to you by the 7 Group. Thank you for watching this game here on HBCU League Pass and SUVtv. Let's shout out our sponsors before we head to the break. Beyond the Bench, SUVtv, and HBCU League Pass. And we'll be right back with you.
When you don't feel like working and you still got to go to work, that's the grind. And that's what you have to do sometimes.
When you choose to put in the work and embrace the journey, success has no choice but to find you.
Bugs, come here. I want to see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. with the varsity.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, you made it.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Cleopatra was the most powerful woman in Egypt. But no one likes a diva, hun. Watching Prime Video, she realized rulers could give back. So she ordered some gifts with Prime. After that, it was more of a one team, one dream kind of vibe. Couldn't give up all the gold, though. Prime changed everything.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language. And she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
Touch a trend, be wildin' with it. Missed out on my kids' life for a year, and I got accepted. Certain days niggas never came to my shows, and I felt neglected. Growing up, see my uncle down in his bed, that shit made me reckless. Pouring up and ain't never sharing my meds, and ain't being extra. And I paid like 2 of my niggas' bonds before I brought a necklace. I done seen my brother stack his bricks up and they look like Tetris. Have a real shootout up on it.
Alexa, play our favorite song again.
Okay.
Nope, not going in. Not gonna drown today.
Fixing your credit score can be scary, but with Credit Versio, we take the fear out of it.
Okay, you can do this. Be brave. Don't cry again. Hey, this isn't too bad.
Credit Versio helps dispute negative marks on your credit using our state-of-the-art technology that guides you every step of the way. It's never been easier to fix your credit and increase your credit score. Seriously, you can do this. Visit creditversio.com right now to get started.
We're here at halftime of the Gateway Invitational, brought to you by the 7 Group. I am Justin Brantley, joined here by my broadcast partner, Coach Lewis Preston. Coach, let's talk about what we've seen so far here in this first half.
Well, the big stat that sticks out to me is 31 combined turnovers between these two teams, with Tennessee State with 18, Norfolk State with 13, right? I think one of the things that has stuck out is your cream is rising to the top, right? Joe Bryan is leading Norfolk State in scoring once again. I think one of the things that Norfolk State did was they slowed the game down, right? They were able to get into some middle pick and roll and then get into some of their actions. Their actions led them to getting easy baskets. If not, they were getting fouls and getting to the free throw line. Once again, Tennessee State continued to get up and down the floor and try to play at that hectic pace, right? Probably took some ill-advised shots. Sometimes quick shots is just as good as turnovers, right?
Absolutely.
So it'll be very interesting, the adjustments that are made by both teams here. I think one of the things that Coach Robert Jones is going to tell his team in Norfolk State, we just need to continue to do what we're doing. We got the ball inside, worked it back out. Let's continue to do that. Let's try to get Bankston a little bit more, get him some more touches down that low block and see how they're going to play. Are they going to double team or are they going to fake and try to, fake it in, and then once the ball's passed back out, got to give up the good for the great. When you get to Tennessee State offensively, I think one of the most important things they have to do is stop taking bad shots, continue to make the extra pass, and maybe they can get some direct line drives and get Norfolk State in foul trouble.
Absolutely. And you touched on a couple key things. The one thing I want to add to what you said, everything was spot on. I actually want to add 2 things. So number one, bench scoring. Norfolk State led that category 15-4.
Yeah.
So when you have bench scoring and guys that are coming in and adding to that and helping off the bench, that brings that energy level that we talked about. You talked about you having to not only keep that level, but sometimes elevate it when you're coming in off the bench. That's number one. Number 2, the free throw shooting. Norfolk State's 100% from the line, 12 for 12. Tennessee State is 5 for 10, 50% from the line. So you talk about a 7-point differential, and we're looking up at the scoreboard and we say 8-point differential. So obviously the free throw shooting is having an impact on this game.
And you know what's the great thing about the fact that you talked about earlier that Tennessee or Norfolk State's doing a great job in regards to their free throw shooting. That's because they're able to get downhill and get to the basket.
Absolutely.
Right? They are forcing Tennessee State to make contact and get fouls. Right? Tennessee State, on the other hand, is not taking advantage of those opportunities because the fact that they've taken 22 turnovers or 22 free throws in this shorter period of time says a lot. It'll be interesting. Me personally, I would probably initiate, if it's in their package early, a little bit more zone if I was Tennessee State to see how Norfolk State would adjust to that. Norfolk State, with their change in defenses, especially their trapping, can Tennessee State make the extra pass, which is the pass that leads to another pass that leads to an easy basket?
Absolutely, and both teams shooting 41% from the field. Both teams struggling from the three-point line. We're going to be right back with you. Come back with action here at Gateway Invitational Atlanta, Gateway Arena here in College Park, Georgia, brought to you by the 7 Group. We'll be right back here with you. Stay here on HBCU Connect and SUVtv.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless. Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you.
And tonight's winning numbers are 18, 55, 39, 71, and 43.
43?
Those numbers again.
We won! Yes!
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
I'll hold on to that.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Hi, I'm Dominique Wilkins, and welcome to my backyard and CBA Sports. At CBA Sports, we create family fun and a lifetime of memories. From our custom-built court systems, putting greens, synthetic lawn, to complete outdoor living spaces. From a single court to your own backyard fantasy, we can do any or all to accommodate your yard, your budget, and your lifestyle. As president of CBA Sports, I invite you to stop by our design center where you can see and play on all our products. I hope to see you soon.
Bowl 24 keeping it real with Damian Lillard.
If you can't find the right hype song, make your own.
Dame Dollar.
Bowl 24 Energize is lower in sugar and has caffeine. That's hype.
Bowl 20.
When you don't feel like working and you still got to go to work, that's the grind. And that's what you have to do sometimes.
When you choose to put in the work and embrace the journey, success has no choice but to find you.
Buzz, come here. I want to see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. with the varsity.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, you made it.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Tamara Brown with SUVtv at the CP3 Rising Stars Camp.
SUVtv's 2019 NBA Draft Day coverage.
Anthony Edwards Collegiate Decision, presented by the Georgia Hoop Circle on SUVtv.
SUVtv brings the game to the audience.
You give a better focus on the actual game at hand. Sometimes you could tell it's just a running camera by itself sitting there, but with SUVtv, it's more of a personal experience.
Just the exposure, being able to see games that you normally wouldn't be able to see, not only here locally, but across the country.
Those angles make you pick up different things as a coach, as an evaluator. They're giving you great quality, nobody talking in the background. I think it brings basketball to the forefront.
Whether it's a family member that lives in a different state, they can watch the game, or just bringing in more coverage for these players, or if it just allows us to raise more money for something like Susan G. Komen. And so I think this event has grown because you guys have been a part of it the whole entire time.
SUVtv has given a different light to kids that don't always get the best exposure.
The commentary that goes along with the games, I think is always interesting.
Touchdown.
Oh, yes, sir. It brings something to the table that no other streaming aspect can bring, no matter how hard they try right now.
overtime. Davian Williamson at the buzzer. That is how you get the Peachtree Corners Invitational started. And that will do it. Thanks for joining us.
And we're back for second half action here at the Gateway Invitational in Atlanta, presented by the 7 Group. We're here on HBCU League Pass and SUVtv. I'm Justin Brantley alongside my broadcast partner here, Lewis Preston. Coach, we talked a little bit at halftime about what both teams have done and what their keys to success are going to be moving forward and moving into the second half. We talked about the stats, and we ran down the leading scores and the reason why we're at where we're at right now, with Norfolk State having a 33-25 lead coming into the second half. What are you looking to see here in this second half?
As a coach, the first 3 minutes are very pivotal to start the second half because they set the tone offensively and defensively. What are we going to do to kind of separate ourselves of where Norfolk State right now? Can we get this 8-point lead to 13 by the first media? On the flip side, if I'm Tennessee State, how can I get it from 8 to maybe 1 possession, right? Once again, because it puts pressure back on the opponent. So it'll be curious to see what different defenses that they're going to look to try to implement to kind of change up some things, and then what changes they're making offensively that's going to play into their hands. I think for Tennessee State, they need to get the ball back into Dupree like they did early. Got to get Carlos Marshall going as well. And he's the only guy for him that was in double digit at 10 points in the first half.
Absolutely. You touched on the keys, and now it's time for some second half action of basketball here. Going to start off early. We haven't seen much of him. Haven't called his name a lot throughout that first half. We talked about him in the beginning of the broadcast. Didn't talk about him much later on. Joe Bryant there with the ball. He's been kind of everything for Norfolk State so far. He's going to pull up. The bank is still open.
Wow. The bank is not open this late. It evidently is open in Gateway.
Gateway banks are a little different. They have the ATM machine up there. It works whenever you need it. You don't have to worry about it. And that's Joe Bryant. He's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But there, Christian Brown, you talked about him earlier, the transfer from Georgia. He's got to find a way to get himself going, and that big-time dunk right there might be just it.
And you know what? Both teams have done a very good job offensively of playing, of executing what was drawn up to them at halftime.
A fight for the 50-50 ball, and it's kicked back out to Joe Bryant. He seems to be in the right place at the right time pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what.
And a substitution for Norfolk State.
Have a young man that's down in the corner.
Kaheem Brown's coming back in.
Yeah. Christian Ing.
We have 8 seconds on the shot clock here. They're going to have to get something moving towards the basket.
Got to go quick.
Ball in the hands of Kaheem Brown. And you talked about his ball handling earlier. Off the mark for 3. The three-point shot has not been either team's friend so far here in the first half. Norfolk State's 1 for 7. Tennessee State's 2 for 8.
So 3 for 15 at this point in the game just kind of tell you got to become a driving, slashing, normal jump shooting team.
You talked about the zone. I'm starting to think that you're psychic because you called this. You asked for this earlier. You said, hey, you're going to have to show us a little bit of zone with the way that the game's being called, and now Norfolk State's coming back into a zone in the
And
first
you
half.
know what, in Norfolk State, what they've been able to do right there is try to keep them. Once again, he said it'd be to our advantage if we can make them a half-court shooting team. They're not comfortable. They like to get up and down the floor, 22 points a game in transition. If you can turn that into 4, that's plus 18.
Absolutely, and just like that, you're going to have Joe Bryant back at the free throw line, where he's done exceptionally well. He's 6 for 6 in the first half from the free throw line.
He understands how to force the action, and forcing the action allows him to me, add to his repertoire of getting his 16 points a game and maybe getting 8 to 10 of them from the free throw line.
Yeah, and a lot of guys don't think about it like that. They don't understand that, hey, 2-3 layups, 6-7 free throws. Just like that, you're averaging double digits.
13 to 15 without a lot of wear and tear on your body.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of an old school game here from Joe Bryant. He's leading this team, and we talked about him on the beginning of the broadcast and how important he is to this team.
And you know what? Coach Jones said it in the pregame interview. Joe Bryant's kind of the straw that stirs the drink along with Christian Inge, and they're doing what they need to do right now.
And they're going to three-quarter court pressure, fall back into that zone. Norfolk State is making Tennessee State be a half-court offense, and that's what you talked about, intentionally feeding the post.
And I said they had to get the ball right
to Jalen Dupree. You called it.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
You think you'd coach a time or two or something, Coach?
It's a simple game that individuals complicate.
So now Dupree's going to head to the free throw line. He's 0 for 2 so far in the game, and his shooting woes continue there. Coming down in the front court with Kaheem Brown, turns it over.
That's easy. That's an easy call. That's an easy call. Oh, boy.
And Coach Penny Collins, he has his jacket off.
Oh, he took the jacket off. Okay.
Yeah, that's an easy call to make. I think right now Coach Collins is making a statement for his team. He's letting them know I'm fighting alongside you guys.
This game's close to getting out of hand.
Which is interesting because the pendulum can swing either way still at this point. They just need to do something. And there.
By the way that they're setting the screens right there and looking at the way that they're guarding their screens, they're able to get downhill, and it's hard to stop somebody when they're able to get full steam downhill.
And Kaheem Brown's going to get to the free throw line, shooting 2. He's 4 for 4 currently from the free throw line. He has 11 points as well. So him and Joe Bryant are both in double figures for Norfolk State. Let's see if he's able to keep this hot streak of free throw shooting going for Norfolk State. And he is, 5 for 5. And there you have Carlos Marshall checking out. He's been a very important piece of the puzzle here for Tennessee State. He can't stay on the bench long.
But you know what? I'm a big fan of body language, and when Chambers came out, everybody was up, dapping. Everything was great. Marshall came out, his head was down.
Three-pointer off the mark for Joe Bryant. He struggled from the three-point line so far. Ball movement for Tennessee State. Another, they're going to call the block. Again, it's difficult to drive when you're facing against the zone. You have to move the basketball. They got bailed out a little bit. They got lucky there. The call was made on Joe Bryant. That will be his second foul.
Right. And once again, what's that zone doing for Tennessee State? It's making them a half-court jump shooting team. Advantage Norfolk State.
And they're talking about a little bit. I think they're going to, make sure that the floor is clear They don't want anybody tripping or falling or slipping here inside of Gateway Invitational Arena. We're here on HBCU League Pass and SUVtv. I'm Justin Brantley alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Lewis Preston. And, it's great to hear you dissect and talk about the game. Somebody not necessarily just of your experience, but of your knowledge of the game of basketball. And you're breaking it down almost on a cerebral level for those watching it and those paying attention and hearing what you're saying. And they can literally take this. This is like film study. This is you're coaching those that are watching the game. So I appreciate sitting next to you and sharing this stage.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's kind of you to say. It's once again, it is still a very simple game. And the great thing right now, if you're really watching what Norfolk State's doing, they're making them they are making Tennessee State a half-court jump shooting team. And with the process of them being a half-court jump shooting team, it's not Tennessee State's sweet spot. So what they're doing, they're sending 4 guys to the glass right now because they know that they're not necessarily there as a team with being able to knock down jump shots consistently.
Yeah, I think what that means is Tennessee State needs to go recruit a shooter.
Once again, it's early in the year. I will continue to follow them and see how those numbers go up throughout the course of the year.
Well, one thing that we haven't talked about is the depth perception of this arena. Especially headed in that direction. There's nothing behind there. You can easily get lost in the sight lines of this arena.
I tell you, though, it is a nice-looking facility. It's my first time being in here. They did a great job with this. To me, it's a shooter's arena. Maybe you want to go. Never mind. I'm not going to go get my sneakers. I'm not going to do that.
You brought them with you, Coach?
And come on now.
Listen, I'm from the era of having our basketball shorts under our dress clothes. So
you know what? I usually am like that.
We have a big-time dunk there. Daryl Anderson, he's been active early. Grabbed some rebounds, has not scored. He just made his way into the scoring column. That was a big-time dunk from him. You want to bring energy to the floor when you're coming in as a substitute.
And one of the things I told, one of the things that I told you going into this first 4 minutes was, could we extend the lead? Right now, the lead is at 11, 40-29. Right? I was like, Norfolk State's going to try to want to get this to 13. At the same time, Tennessee State's going to try to get this to 1 possession. Right now, who's won the first 4 minutes?
Norfolk State, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So how do you combat that? If you're Coach Penny Collins, obviously there is no 11-point play. There's no way you can get right back into this ball game like that. But there's things that you can do incrementally to attack this lead. And what is the answer?
For me personally, from a coaching standpoint, I got to break this down into 4-minute segments now. So below the 16-minute media to the 12-minute, can we go from, let's say, 11, can we get it down to 7, maybe 6? And then with that next media, can I get it down to 2, right? Those are the things you got to continue to do right there. Boy, way too many easy missed free throws right there by Tennessee State.
Yeah, you touched on it being early in the season, but you can't give away this many opportunities at the free throw line. Here they're going to extend their pressure, try and force a turnover, force the ball out of the hands. There you have Joe Bryant. And I like Joe Bryant's vision there, giving up the good for the great, as you say, putting the pressure on the heels of Tennessee State. Watch as they break the press. He gets into the front court, 2 feet in the paint, kicks it to the corner. And now from that, we're going to have Chris Bankston headed to the free throw line shooting 2. We've got a timeout. We're going to take it with them. We're here at the Gateway Invitational here in Atlanta, brought to you by HBCU League Pass, SUVtv. Stay right here with us for the second half.
some carriers give you so little for your older busted phone you just end up living with it? I don't think so. Verizon lets you trade in your broken phone for a shiny new one. You break it, we upgrade it. You dunk it, doggy bone it, slam it, wham it, strawberry jam it. We upgrade it.
Get a 5G phone on us with select plans.
Every customer, current, new, or business.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
Once upon a time, there lived a princess with really long hair who was waiting for a prince to come save her. But really, who has time for that?
Let's go. Feeling myself. I'm feeling
She ordered herself a ladder with Prime one-day delivery, and she was out of there.
I want some hood girls looking back at it and a good girl in my tax bracket.
Now, her hairdressing empire is killing it. And the prince? Well, who cares? Prime changes everything.
And welcome back to action here inside of Gateway Arena. I'm Justin Brantley alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Lewis Preston. And we came right back to live action. Chris Bankston knocking down the first of 2 free throws.
And I'm gonna tell you this right now. If they can continue to shoot free throws like this, it's gonna win you a lot of games.
Well, you touched on and you talked about earlier the championship pedigree of Norfolk State basketball and what they have built and what they have done over these last couple of years. And that's a big part of it, being able to close out basketball games.
Let me give you an even better stat. And a lot of people out here in TV land don't know this, but need to be educated on it. Coach Jones, Robert Jones, is in the top 5 of all coaches, conference-wise, where his overall conference winning percentage at 92-32 at a 74% clip. And I'm not just talking about in regards to the SWAC and the MEAC. I'm talking with your Coach K's, your Jim Boehans, your Rick Pitino's. And I think Coach Jones doesn't get the credit that he deserves for how he's done a great job of building that program and sustaining that level of success.
Absolutely, and I love that. I love that stat, and I love you adding that and bringing that to the forefront because that's something that we need to talk about. And I think that it's not spoken about enough, so it's great to hear that from you. The other person that I think fits right into that same category would be Johnny Jones. He's done a great job at Texas Southern as well as Byron Smith at Prairie View A&M.
Right.
Byron Jones is 44-4. Over the last 3 years, his conference record there at Prairie View A&M. So there's a lot of amazing coaches within the HBCU ranks.
Right. And Johnny Jones is an experienced coach, currently at Texas Southern. Before he was at LSU. Before that, he was at North Texas as a head coach. So once again, there's a lot of great coaches in that league, a lot of great assistant coaches in these leagues. You got Jamal Brown over here, who's the associate head coach at Norfolk State, who's been with Coach Jones from day one. Good buddy of mine, Russ Williamson, who's on the bench there at Tennessee State, that does a great job of recruiting here in this Metro Atlanta area.
And the last bit I want to add to that, we talked about Johnny Jones. He's one of those guys, 8 20-plus win seasons, 4 NCAA tournament appearances, and only 1 losing season. That's including his 5 years at LSU. So 1 losing season as a head coach.
Right.
Phenomenal coaching going on at these HBCU programs.
And a lot of people need to pay attention to it as well. And hopefully, with everything that's going on over the course of the last 24 months, that more coaches will get opportunities.
We have a turnover there from Tennessee State. There's just more energy from this Norfolk State squad right now, which is the reason why they're up 13. Here we're going to take a look at that defense there. They're giving them multiple different looks. And you talked about it, the different blitzes, the different presses, the different zones. They're throwing so many different looks at Tennessee State. They're early in the season. It's tough to adjust to that. When you haven't seen it on film yet, you haven't talked about it enough, it's hard to make those adjustments.
And right now they're in a 1-2-2-3 quarter court trap press. Once again, trying to get them out of control.
Big time block from Chris Bankston down low, and he's asking for it. He wants to be rewarded for that.
He should be rewarded for it.
Joe Bryant with the ball in the front court here on our right-hand side. He's telling his guys, I don't need a screen. He's going to move the ball. And an interesting call there from the sideline ref.
Fan said the ref's not the show. I'm going to go ahead and keep my mouth shut on that one.
And with that being said, Joe Bryant in the front court, he moves the ball around there for Norfolk State.
Just keep giving that ball to Bankston. Yep. Yep.
Well, you know, when you're in a situation like this and you have an advantage at the free throw line, you have an advantage in paint touches right now.
Right.
Get back to what's been working for you, which is scoring at the free throw line.
Right. Exactly. Oh, nice elevator action. Oh, he set that.
I like that play call there from Norfolk State. I like the design of that play.
That is a great elevator play right there. Don't agree with that call at all. That's a great play.
We have another call down low. I think we've had 3 whistles in the last 13 seconds of play.
Yeah.
So as a coach, and even we can go back to your playing days, how difficult is it to get into a rhythm?
Not like this.
Yeah, with these type of whistles.
Not like this. I think how you have to address is getting to more of your half-court packages here. Because it looked like we're gonna be at the free throw line here. Both teams shooting free throws before we get to the 12-minute media.
And like you said, just then Kaheem Brown gets downhill, attacks, straighten his shoulders, squared his shoulders at the basket. Now he's going to reward himself with 2 opportunities at the free throw line, where he's done phenomenal. He's knocked down his free throws so far. He's done a great job of keeping the pressure on them defensively.
What I like about Brown is when he has his mind made up that he's going to go score, he's going to try to get down all the way down and score.
I think that has something to do with him being from Brooklyn, right?
He's just taking advantage of opportunities.
You see that a lot with players from New York. They tend to be very aggressive getting downhill. They're great downhill scorers. They're very confident. Something in the water there in Brooklyn.
I got to be careful to comment on that, being down here in Atlanta with all the basketball talent down here. Definitely got to be careful knowing that I'm from the DMV area as well.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I think it's great to see the nuances of basketball in different places throughout the country. And everybody wants to say that their area is better or has the best, but there's so much great talent all around the country. And right there, the man that you called on earlier and said that we were going to need to see, Carlos Marshall, gets into the paint, finishes. He's going to go to the free throw line to try and make it a 3-point play. They need something here, trailing by 13.
Right.
They need him to get going.
They need this 3-point play opportunity, and then they got to look to try to get 3 stops in a row. But you can get 3 stops in a row, but now you got to be able to go down and capitalize off of it. If you get 3 stops and don't capitalize, you just got 3 stops.
Absolutely. You're just delaying the inevitable. It looks like they're having a conversation. They're making an adjustment to the shot clock, running it down a little bit. It looked like an injury substitution there. A little bit of gamesmanship right now from Coach Penny Collins here for Tennessee State University.
Boy, Tennessee State's left a lot of points out there on the free throw line.
Carlos Marshall comes up empty on the free throw attempt. He left the line there pretty quickly. He didn't stay in there. It comes down to technique. It comes down to just doing things the right way, the same way every time. And there, strong drive from Kaheem Brown, but a big-time block on the back end. That was good help side defense from Tennessee State.
Great job by Jalen Dupree right there to be on that backside and get that block. Wasn't able to keep it in bounds, but, hey, I love the energy and the hustle.
Substitutions for Tennessee State. Hersey Miller comes out.
That's a great play. That's a great play.
That was a second three there from Kaheem Brown. He's been the only one that's knocked down a shot from the outside. Coach knows who to call that play for and who to put in the position to be successful there.
And all of a sudden, it's gone from 11 to 16.
Well, I mean, coming into the second half, it was 8. They've doubled it here early in the second half.
Right. And that was the thing right there that Coach Collins and his staff was probably talking to the team about, is we got to keep this thing within striking distance, and we can't let this get out of hand.
And now that it's starting to get out of hand, we talked a little bit about the body language. First free throw is good from Kenny Cooper. We talked a little bit about the body language and seeing guys somewhat dejected here.
Right. And once again, this is early in the year. And I think Coach Collins does a great job, will continue to do a great job as well of his staff. These are great learning opportunities early. These types of games can help better me as I get into the grind of my conference season and into the postseason if you're able to make it that far.
Shots off the mark there from Chris Ford. And here comes Tennessee State into the front court. They're going to move the ball around. Marshall's attacking downhill. Kicks it to the wing. And that's the first three-pointer made from Tennessee State. That was made by Dedrick Boyd. Big-time shot from Dedrick Boyd. They needed that. Dedrick Boyd is a transfer from Illinois State, originally from Brownsville, Tennessee. Right back at it. Norfolk State's on the offensive. They're moving the ball around. Steal there from Carlos Marshall, and he's going to get into the front court, drive and kick. Oh, I thought we were going to have back-to-back threes there from Dedrick Boyd. He was unable to find the mark there. And we're going to have a timeout. We're going to take it with them. Guys, thanks for watching this game here, the Gateway Invitational here in Atlanta, brought to you on HBCU League Pass and SUVtv. For my broadcast partner, Lewis Preston, I am Justin Brantley, and we'll be right back with you after this timeout.
Alexa, play our favorite song again.
Okay.
And we're back inside of Gateway Arena here in Atlanta, Georgia, the Gateway Invitational. This is an important possession for both teams.
Yes.
Just had a 16-point lead for Norfolk State. Tennessee State's cut into it with a quick 4-point run. Now let's see what it looks like here on this action as we have, Joe Bryant moving into the front court. Another intentional paint touch there for Norfolk State. Big-time move.
That's it. That's a great play call to go to his bread and butter, that being Bankston down on that low block.
Bankston, the Little Rock transfer. He's a force down low there to be reckoned with. Marshall to Cooper, moving the ball around the perimeter. A turnover for Tennessee State. Kaheem Brown getting downhill. He pulls it out, slows it down. He knows he doesn't need to be in a rush. He's going to get it back up top. Coach is telling him to slow it down. Bankston's asking for him to reverse it, get it over on his side.
Oh. Ooh.
We've got another turnover, another travel call. And in comes Marcus Fitzgerald Jr., the freshman out of Nashville, Tennessee. You have to appreciate Coach Collins is giving a lot of guys some playing time here today. He's getting them that early experience. He never knows who he's going to need, who he's going to have to rely on down the stretch.
And once again, he's got 11 new guys, so you got to kind of figure this out on the fly in the course of these games early on so you can be prepared for conference and then tournament time.
Pull-up jump shot off the mark for Dedrick Boyd. And just like that, we've got Joe Bryant heading the opposite direction. A little bit too fast. He's going to turn it over, and Marshall's headed back in the other way. And we're going to get a foul call. That foul call's on Joe Bryant.
Should be the bonus. They're in the bonus. Yeah, 9:56 to go.
You never want to see
in the bonus.
You never want to see that foul 80 feet away from the basket. But with the way Tennessee State has been shooting free throws, I'm not too mad at it.
Yeah.
And Marshall comes up good on the front end of the one-on-one.
Yeah, I kind of look at Marshall's body language right now a little bit. You know, he's right there teetering.
Yep.
And my thing is you're closer than you think. Just continue to try to figure out how to get those stops and then being able to capitalize on it.
Well, you know, it's always good for a shooter to see the ball go through the net. So getting to the free throw line and having some success there is going to extend into him feeling a little bit more comfortable to knock down that mid-range and knock down that three. And Norfolk State's coming back down. They're moving the ball around. There you have Bankston. He's going to get a touch. Bryant, Mr. Everything. I don't know how he made that pass. And we're going to get a hand check, it looks like, down low.
Wow. It's a good move, though. It's a good move.
Coach Collins is trying to figure out what can his guys do and not get a foul called.
Right.
Here we have that pass from Bryant. I don't know how he was able to, number one, identify he wasn't going to be able to get the shot off, but number two, find an open guy. That was good defense.
It's their first miss.
Bankston comes up empty in the front end of the one-on-one. Fitzgerald's pushing the pace for Tennessee State, slowing it down. He's going to look at his coach and see what he needs to do. Moving into the right side of the floor. He's going to attack. Marshall with the turnover.
That's a charge.
You called that.
Easy.
Raheem Brown
He's
picks
out
up
of control.
Player control foul. But, I mean, that's what they've done well. That's been the bread and butter, aggressive line drives. So he saw the lane and he took it. He had no reason to slow down or hesitate because it's worked for him all day so far.
Right. And I think you get to this time of year, I mean, especially early on in the year, you're going to try to figure out what's working versus what's not working.
Fitzgerald with the ball, moving right to left. Finds Boyd. Boyd's going to get it down low. Nicholson, mid-range pull-up, no good. Looks like it's going to stay here with Tennessee State. So I'm liking the intensity from Tennessee State attacking the offensive glass, staying active, trying to get those second chance opportunities.
Right. And Norfolk State just needs to put bodies on guys to keep them off the glass.
Box out.
That's too easy.
Dedrick Boyd. Wide open for three.
And all of a sudden, it's a 9-point game.
Yep. Well, they didn't shoot the ball well in the first half. So having some success knocking down some shots from beyond the arc, it's giving them that confidence that they need, knowing that they can chip away at this lead and fight their way back into it. Coach is fired up. Coach is fired up. So knowing he's got a media timeout coming here, he was able to claw this down from 16 points now to single-digit lead. Yeah. If they can score here, headed into that media timeout, 7-point game, you're right there within striking distance. Boyd almost turns it over. He's going to call for it back. He's got the hot hand. Like that he didn't force it there. Kicks out to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald tries to break him down. Boyd with the pull-up three. Bucket.
Wow.
He's on fire.
6-point game.
Just like that, we've got a 6-point game. He has 9 points in the last 3 minutes.
Here's the experience right there. Most people would have called a timeout. Coach Jones just got him into a set.
Well, Coach Jones knows he's got a timeout coming, so there's no sense in wasting one. He knew at the next whistle he was going to have one. And here we're going to have that media timeout, and we're going to take it with him. Stay right here. As you can see, this game is far from over here at the Gateway Invitational here on HBCU League Pass and SUVtv, brought to you by the 7 Group. We'll be right back with you.
Don't worry, Ma. We'll be there soon.
Wait, is this the one?
Well, let's say I found the one who takes me to another level. Always stays calm under pressure. Most importantly, the one that helps me discover the coolest places.
This sounds wonderful.
Come outside, I'll introduce you.
They're here.
Definitely the one.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Frontier.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you.
And we're back here with inside the Gateway Arena. Justin Brantley here with my broadcast partner, Coach Lewis Preston. And we've watched Tennessee State chip away at this lead as they come down court. Dedrick Boyd, who's had the hot hand and knocked down a couple of threes there. And he doesn't force it. Driving kick to Nicholson, no good. But Nicholson attacks the offensive glass. He's going to get called for a foul.
Wow. That is a great offensive set right there by Tennessee State. Miss a wide open jump shot and then get the foul. But once again, it goes back to this. Now they're also in the bonus as well. From 7:03, both teams in the bonus moving forward. I think what really sticks out to me right there was Norfolk State's been able to knock down those open shots. On the flip side of it, Tennessee State, great look, wasn't able to capitalize off of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've both struggled from three. Really the only player that's shown us that success from the three-point line right now is Dedrick Boyd. And there for Norfolk State, Christian Ing is going to come up empty on the front end of the one-on-one. Communication from his teammate, putting him back into that zone. They want to force him to shoot those outside shots.
Exactly.
Good defensive rotation on the backside there.
The bad call. There should have been a foul.
It's been interesting to see what's called and what's not called here in this game.
Right.
Good drive there from Christian Ing.
Such a huge difference at times. The both teams are playing with incredible energy. I love it this time. This time of game says a lot. Wow.
Ing with a steal. He's going to get to the front court. He's got Joe Bryant.
Timeout. Good timeout. Great timeout right there by Coach Collins. Great timeout.
So just like that, went from a 6-point game to a 10-point game. Coach Collins took offense to Joe Bryant showboating a little bit there after that made basket.
I think one of the things that stuck out right there is it just goes to show you how quickly momentum can change.
Yep.
Because it was a 6-point game, back-to-back, scores right there. Now it's back up to 10. This thing can get out of hand, right, if we don't keep our cool and keep a level head. So here's my thing. Oh, they're making this immediate. So let's keep it going right here. I think what makes it very interesting right here now, what type of adjustments need to be made? To me, Tennessee State's now, they're getting close to that area to where they're going to need more possessions, right? So they're going to probably have to pick up full court a little bit more. Once again, with Norfolk State, they just got to continue to do what they're doing that's giving them this 10-point lead, and they're going to continue to try to build on it as well.
Yep, and you talked about Tennessee State in the onset of this broadcast. You talked about their ability to score in that first 8 seconds. They're going to need to bring that out here at this point of the game.
Right. But once again, it all starts with getting 3 stops in a row, 1 stop at a time.
And converting those stops into offensive success.
Yes.
I'm with you, Coach. I'm learning. I'm learning alongside you here.
If they go back and look at this game, Tennessee State is who I'm talking about. They're going to come back and see some great things they did defensively and then came down and got empty offensive possessions.
And we're back. Tennessee State moving into the front court. They're facing matchup zone a little bit there. It's hard to tell what that is that they're running.
Wow, great shot by Marshall.
Big time shot. Carlos Marshall's feeling, I told you, when he knocked down those 2 free throws. That's what shooters need to see. They need to see the ball going through the net, and just like that, it's a 7-point game. Now they need to get one of those stops that you talked about.
Yes.
Good defensive rotation from Tennessee State. I don't know about that shot.
That's not good.
That's not what Norfolk State wanted, and now Tennessee State's moving to the front court. You got Fitzgerald surveying the land, trying to figure out what he's going to do with it. Boyd in the corner for the hot hand. He's wide open. He's knocked down a couple of those. A little bit of a heat check. But I love to see Emmanuel Duwanu fighting for that offensive rebound there, attacking the offensive glass, not just conceding that was an empty possession.
Right.
Norfolk State bringing it into the front court. Joe Bryant's active without the ball. He's going to bring it back. Gives it right back to Inge. He continues to move. He's forcing his guy to move. And now he's going to get downhill.
Oh. Nice old school dribble weave that gave that alleyway to get that north and south drive. Great job right there by Norfolk State.
It all happened from Joe Bryant's movement without the basketball. He moved so much without the basketball that his defender was tired by the time it was time to play defense.
And it's so funny you make that comment because that's what I think about Steph Curry all the time. The fact that he's always in motion, your defensive guy can never take a break.
Yep, and I'll take it one step beyond that, okay? And a lot of guys, especially if you're a young basketball player, you're sitting back watching this game, you hear your parent yell, move without the ball. You need to move with intention. And what Joe Bryant just did, he moved with intention that entire possession. He wasn't just drifting and moving just to say, hey, coach, I'm active, I'm moving. No, he was moving with intention.
Right.
He gets to the line and knocks down that first free throw. He's quietly had himself a night. Joe Bryant, 18 points. Make it 19. I'm sorry, make it 20. That's his 20th point of the game.
Wow.
Quiet 20. But,
very quiet.
But he's 12 for 12 from the free throw line. (12 for 12 from the free throw line.
That's huge.
Well, that's what you want from your point guard and from your best player. You want him to be able to knock down free throws in the clutch. And there you have Fitzgerald breaking down the defense. Marshall has the ball. Shot clock's breaking down. He has to force one up. They're going to call a shot clock violation. He's frustrated. So the defensive shifts and changes that you're seeing from Norfolk State, we talked about it in the forefront. We talked about it earlier in this game. Coach Robert Jones is a defensive master, and him throwing these different looks at Tennessee State, catching them off guard, especially early in the season. He's doing a masterful job in calling this game here.
And I think one of the things is when you get into that shot clock, specific point in the shot clock, to where you got to go into your pick and roll packages right there, the way that Norfolk State's guarded has been superb.
And Joe Bryant called for a clear out there. He asked him, he said, get out the way. He can't guard me. I'm going to get to the basket. I'm going to finish. And he did just that.
Right.
It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to say it and then do it. Look at that drive there.
Nice move by Christian Brown.
Christian Brown, he says, I'm a high-level basketball player. I'm going to show you something. And just like that, we've got a timeout. It's a 11-point game. It's still anybody's ball game with just under 4 minutes to go here, Gateway Arena. I am Justin Brantley alongside Lewis Preston. Stay right here on HBCU League Pass and SUVtv to see how this game finishes out.
Nope, not going in, not gonna drown today.
Fixing your credit score can be scary, but with Credit Versio, we take the fear out of it.
Okay, you can do this. Be brave. Don't cry again. Hey, this isn't too bad.
Credit Versio helps dispute negative marks on your credit using our state-of-the-art technology that guides you every step of the way. It's never been easier to fix your credit and increase your credit score. Seriously, you can do this. Visit creditversio.com right now to get started.
And we're back inside of Gateway Arena for the final 3.5 minutes here in this back and forth ping pong matchup between Norfolk State and Tennessee State. We're looking at really the difference makers are Joe Bryant for Norfolk State, who has 20 on 12 for 12 from the free throw line, 40% shooting from the field. And we talked a lot about him earlier in the broadcast, big time play. We talked about him earlier in the broadcast, Carlos Marshall, he has 17.
And you know what, right on cue, Bryant knocked down a tough layup right there.
He is Energizer Bunny right now. He's doing everything.
And the offensive foul call. It'll be TSU basketball.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call. That's going to be his 4th foul. Joe Bryant, 22 points, 4 fouls. I think coach is going to trust him enough to keep him in the game.
Oh, he'll trust him enough right there. That's just, that play had 0 impact on the game right there.
This defense from Norfolk
Throw
State.
it back.
Wow. Wow, you will have to reward the big fella Bankston. Did a great job on the defensive end, forced the turnover, ran alongside his guard. He said, throw it up and I'll go get it. Let's get another look at that. Hopefully that was a big-time play. He got the steal, gave it up.
Got to reward the big man for running.
Go up top and go get it. You have to love that. And not only did he sacrifice defensively, but then he ran alongside the guard. A lot of times, bigs would give up on a play sometimes. He said, no, I want this one back.
And one of the things that I was saying, and you start looking at this pedigree of Coach Jones once again, what really sticks out to me about Coach Jones is his guys throughout the course of the game, they continue to get stronger, not weaker. Their mindsets are stronger. And it goes back to the culture. And it goes back to when your conference winning percentage is 74%. Just to think about that, every 10 games, they're winning 7.4 of them. That's huge.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it. We talked about culture, and culture is one of those things that's either built by default or by design. And you can tell that Coach Jones has built his culture by design.
Yes.
He's a winner. He's a leader. He's communicating. He's teaching his guys. He's using everything, even successes, as teaching moments. And you love to see that from him here at this game. And with just over 2 minutes left, now we're going to see how Norfolk State's able to close this game out.
Right. And we're going to see what Tennessee State can do to try to keep themselves in and try to put some pressure on Norfolk State as well.
Well, I mean, it's early in the season. They need something to build off of. And how they finish this game, win, lose, draw, is going to be important for the rest of their season moving forward.
Exactly.
Brown up top. Finds Boyd, who's had the hot hand, especially from that left corner 3 area. Down low and no good. Dupree's battling down there. And you can see a hint of frustration in Dupree's face because he's trying to understand why are the calls a little bit different on that end of the court underneath the basket than they are on the other end.
And the difference is because Norfolk State's getting wide open uncontested versus contested.
Yep. And there you have the full court press from Tennessee State. Norfolk State easily breaks through it. They don't force anything.
Yep.
It's a little chippy between Hersey Miller right now and Christian Ings. A little bit of chirping back and forth.
I mean, and you're at the point right now to where now you're going to the free throw line and everything. So, yeah.
The ref's talking to him. He wants him to calm down. Coach Jones is talking to him. He wants him to calm down. He said, hey, let's finish out this game.
Right.
We've got 104 seconds left. We have to make sure that we close this game out like a championship team because there's going to be a lot of games where we're not going to have this 12-point differential with this much time on the clock. So we have to prepare ourselves for those moments.
It's great to see how teams early on, especially in situations of success and in situations of adversity, handle late game situations.
No good on the front end, but he's going to shoot 2 because we're in the double bonus. He makes the second one. Fitzgerald brings it up. He's going to see that pressure from Norfolk State. They're not backing off. They're not saying, hey, we're going to take it easy. They're going to keep their foot on the gas to the finish line. Fitzgerald swings it across. Pull up, jump shot, good. That's Dietrich Boyd. He's knocked down a couple jumpers. He's been that lone bright spot shooting for Tennessee State so far today. That's the last person you want to put on the free throw line. Tough foul call. Christian Brown's trying to figure it out. He's not understanding. But if you're going to foul anybody on the floor, the one person you don't want to foul is Joe Bryant.
And I agree with you with that right there, but also says a lot about the fact that they knew to get the ball back in Joe's hands.
Absolutely. Joe Bryant's 12 for 12 from the free throw line, has 24 points, 50% field goal shooting, 6 rebounds, 4 steals.
13 for 13.
When you have a player that goes for 25 points in a 63-point ball game, the impact that he's had is phenomenal. The refs are having a conversation here. They need a towel. Safety first. Little bit.
There's nothing more frustrating to me than having an event not have tiles. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, I think the issue there was the Norfolk State guys wanted Tennessee State guys to come out and.
Yeah. I'm just focused on the towel right now. That's all. Just focus on the towel.
Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for your drives here to the Gateway Invitationals. Thank you for your support.
Coach is jawing back and forth a little bit.
Yeah. This all started in warm-ups.
Well, beautiful game here. Gateway Invitational here in Atlanta at the Gateway Arena.
Competitors compete.
We appreciate you tuning in here at HBCU League Pass, SUVtv, brought to you by the 7 Group, Beyond the Bench. I mean, it's been a phenomenal game here. Both teams have played hard. Both teams are fighting here down to the last moment. Coaches are passionate. They believe in their guys. Yeah. There you have Joe Bryant. He's going to cap off the evening. That's his 26th point. He's going to check out. He deserves a standing ovation.
Great game. Was a true floor general every step of the way. Floor general every step of the way. That was impressive.
Just over a minute left.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's about playing to that final horn.
Mm-hmm.
Big time 3 from Marcus Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Tennessee State said, we're not done yet.
And he could have used a little bit of that from Fitzgerald a little bit earlier, but.
Absolutely.
You know.
Here we got another look at it. He no hesitation. He caught it in rhythm and let it go.
As we wait, you know, we can continue to roll through this. I think it's very important in both cases. There are some things that you can take and learn from this on both sides, right? There's a way to handle yourself in all situations, right? Good and not so positive. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of positives both of these teams can take away from this game. I've always been impressed with Norfolk State. I've been impressed with Coach Jones for a very long time. And you know what? He did not disappoint today.
Not at all.
Did not disappoint. Coach Collins is more than on his way as well. He's got 11 new guys. These guys are going to learn how to play with each other as they move forward. And they got a chance to do some things in the OVC as well. I would match their talent with anybody's in the Ohio Valley Conference here for 21-22.
Absolutely, and they have Joe Bryant back on the floor. It's getting chippy here. Now it's about closing out the game, and they're going to put the ball in the hands of their superstar, Joe Bryant. He's going to find a way, get into the front court.
Right.
Coach Collins wants them to keep working. He wants them to fight through this.
Absolutely. You got to play to the very end. You got to do that.
Foul number 4 of TSU.
And here they're going to head to the free throw line, shooting 2. Christian Inge. He's had a somewhat quiet game, but he's had an impact on it throughout the course of it. 3 points, 1 from 3 for the free throw line. This is where he can, pad his stats a little bit, as they say.
Can't pat him like that. Tell you, this has been a good game, though. Minus some of the extracurricular activities, it's been well coached on both ends.
And can't get that one to go. Dupree goes up high to grab that rebound.
I see Justin over here got it special. I think you got your own security detail, huh? Oh, wow. Fitzgerald back at it.
Fitzgerald, he saved that a little bit too long. But that was a big-time shot from him. He's not wasting any time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Beautiful shot.
I agree.
That's what you talked about, that first 8 seconds and them scoring early in the possession.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to sub Joe Bryant back into the game here. It's important to have him on the floor.
Right.
And he wasn't able to make it into the game.
Boy. Oh! Saw it happen. Sorry.
It was a basketball play.
No, he went. He straight went for the basketball. Absolutely.
Basketball play.
Absolutely went for the basketball.
50-50 ball. Both guys going after it. Both guys going hard. It was not intentional. That was a basketball play. And immediately, Hersey Miller was the first one over there to reach down and try and help the man out. His head hit the floor pretty hard there.
That happens when you go up for the ball like that.
And it's great to see him up.
Yeah.
Again, if you take a look at it here, we're going to take another look at it. Ball hung up there what seemed like forever, and both guys attacking, going after the ball.
Yeah, he went for the ball. Yeah. Wait. No. This one?
And the referee's going to take another look at that one.
He went for the ball.
Ball hangs up there in the air. Both guys going after the ball. Basketball play.
He went for the ball.
We're going to take another look at it.
He went for the ball, yeah.
And the refs conclude the same thing that we had. It was a clean basketball play. Both guys just going after a 50-50 ball. Coach has said no more shots. Let's dribble this ball out. Let's end it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's tough.
Joe Bryant with the offensive rebound. He's going to be fouled. He's going to head to the free throw line. Fouls on Hersey Miller, son of Master P. There's a lot of conversation back and forth.
That's actually a great point. He's got the rebound, wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yep.
Wasn't hard. He's got to get the rebound.
Joe Bryant, 15 for 15 from the free throw line. That's his 27th point.
Impressive. Definitely going to have my eye on him this year.
16 for 16 from the three-point line. Doesn't get any better than that, huh?
No.
100%.
It's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good day.
28 points to lead all scorers. Boyd for three. Big time shot there from Dedrick Boyd. Good. Seven-point game. Unless Reggie Miller's coming through that tunnel, I think we've got a final here.
It's been some. It's been some. Don't do it. Don't do it.
They're supposed to dribble that one out.
Yeah. It's a good game. It's a good game overall.
Good game. Intense game from both sides.
Right.
Both teams playing hard. Both teams bringing pressure.
Right.
Both teams excited about the opportunity. I'm Justin Brantley alongside Coach Lewis Preston, and this is game one of the 2 games here at the Gateway Invitational in Atlanta. So stay right here on HBCU League Pass and SUVtv. We're going to continue this day of high-level collegiate basketball, HBCU basketball, and our player of the game undoubtedly has to be Joe Bryant. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in the post game here for you. Stay right here. We'll be right back with you. And there you have it, our final here in game one of the Gateway Invitational in Atlanta. Norfolk State defeats Tennessee State 66-59. I am Justin Brantley alongside Coach Lewis Preston. Coach, tell me what you saw here in this game here today.
Well, first of all, what you saw was that, and I'm huge on culture, and I'm huge on competition, I'm huge on success. You had a chance to see it with Norfolk State. Joe Bryant, their leading scorer, came out and did exactly what he was supposed to do. Kaheem Brown came in, did a great job for them as well. Bankston. It was a total team effort. But Tennessee State, they got themselves in a little bit of a bind, a little bit of a hole, and weren't able to necessarily come out of it. But once again, they kept fighting, gave much better effort. And I know that Coach Collins will talk about that effort as they head into their next games coming up here. But it was a great game, great atmosphere. Once again, very happy to see both of these teams play early on in the year and look forward to following them throughout the course of the year.
Absolutely. There's a whole lot to build on for both of those teams. Joe Bryant with 28 points. He had a phenomenal game. Again, we can't talk enough about the high-level coaching from both of those coaches, but specifically Coach Jones, Coach Robert Jones. You touched on his 74% conference winning record, and he showed that. He showed his winning culture. He showed what his team's capable of doing. I'm excited to bring you Game 2 of the Gateway Invitational here, presented by the 7 Group. Stay right here on HBCU League Pass and SUVtv. We'll be right back with you with action from Game 2.